Explosions rocked Doha, sending plumes of smoke through the city skyline. Israel says it was a strike against the top leadership of Hamas. The Hamas team was engaged in negotiations with other officials in the Qatari capital. Moments after the news of explosion in Doha came, the Israeli military announced that it has carried out attacks targeting Hamas leaders. In a statement, the IDF says that prior to the strike, steps were taken to minimize harm to uninvolved civilians, including the use of precision weaponry and additional intelligence information. This was the moment that the strike hit the apartment building in Doha where Hamas leader or chief negotiator Al-Hayya was currently in. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel initiated it, Israel conducted it, and Israel takes full responsibility. The attacks comes a day after a deadly shooting in Jerusalem, a day earlier, claimed by the Palestinian militant group. Qatar condemned the action as cowardly and called it a flagrant violation of international law. Qatar, which has been a key mediator in efforts to broker a truce in Gaza, said the Israeli strikes targeted the homes of several members of Hamas's political bureau residing in the Gulf country, where the militant group's senior leadership is based. Now, according to Israeli military officials, more than 10 Israeli Air Force fighter jets dropped over 10 munitions in the strike on Hamas's leadership in Qatar. According to Israeli officials, the munitions all hit a building where Hamas leaders were believed to have been gathered within seconds. The distance between Israel and Qatar is 2,228 kilometers. According to reports, the Israeli jets en route to carrying out their strike and on the way back to Israel, several aerial refuelings were carried out. Israeli officials claim the strike was aimed at top Hamas leaders, including Khalil al-Hayya, its exiled Gaza chief and top negotiator. Two Hamas sources told Reuters that Hamas officials in the ceasefire negotiating team survived the attack. Today's strikes, Israel's first attack on the Western-backed Gulf state, comes less than 2 weeks after Israel's armed forces chief vowed to target the group's leaders based abroad. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned Israel's strikes on Qatar, calling them a flagrant violation of Doha's sovereignty, whereas Saudi Crown Prince termed Israeli attack on Hamas in Qatar a criminal act. The U.S. Embassy in Qatar says that it has seen reports of missile strikes occurring in Doha. The U.S. Embassy in Doha has instituted a shelter-in-place order for their facilities. U.S. citizens are advised to take shelter in those places and monitor the situation. Israel's far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich praised the targeting of Hamas leaders, including Khalil al-Hayya, its exiled Gaza chief and top negotiator.
We still don't know just how many people were hurt or killed in this attack, but it marks the second time that Qatar, an energy-rich nation on the Arabian Peninsula, has been targeted during the Mideast wars that came from Hamas's initial October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel. Back in June, Iran launched an attack on a Qatari airbase home to U.S. airmen over the Americans bombing Iranian nuclear sites. But this time, this is different. The Qataris have come out strongly against Israel. We've also seen regional countries like the United Arab Emirates also say that they back Qatar in this. So this likely will further strain the relationships that Israel has with the Gulf Arab countries, which it's been so desperate to try to make diplomatic recognition deals with, and likely is going to cause more tension in the wider Middle East as this offensive looms.
While Israeli leadership is hailing the attack on Hamas, a mother of an Israeli hostage has condemned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the attack in Qatar. Hamas still have 20 captives who are believed to be alive. The negotiations to end the Israel-Hamas war has been ongoing. Listening to the emotional plea.
אני רועדת מפחד. I am trembling with fear. I am trembling with fear. It could be that at this very moment, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has essentially sentenced my Matan to death. Anyone who deliberately chooses to endanger my child's life is murdering him. Why does the Prime Minister insist on blowing up every small chance for a deal? Why? My Matan's life has been in real danger for 22 months already. Until when? Again and again and again, the Prime Minister sabotages the deal, every deal that is on the table. I've had enough. Enough. The people of Israel are tired of this war. End it already and bring everyone back in a comprehensive agreement.
Hafid Boutaleb is a geopolitics and international relations analyst, AOB Group. He joins us from Casablanca, Morocco. Mr. Boutaleb, good to see you and thank you very much for your time. Where do you think this attack in Doha leaves the negotiating team and also the hostages being held in Gaza?
Well, good day, Eric. And yes, this is an important and a huge strike in terms of magnitude. And it is the second time, as your reporter in Dubai stated, that Qatar have been targeted after have been targeted by Iran, and most likely the Israelis will argue that they are not the first who target Qatar, and therefore they have the right, as Iran did, to defend their security. However, this is the first time in which an ally of United States have been targeted by Israel. Let's recall that Qatar hosts the United States air base of Al Ubaid, and it is considered as one of the biggest military base of the United States outside the territory of the contiguous United States. And let's recall as well that this military base have been targeted by Iraq in 1991 during the Gulf War, and it is an important and very sensitive place. That's why many observers, but the White House as well, confirmed that they have been notified by Israel prior to the attack, and the location of the attack, so close to a United States military air base, is somehow a confirmation that Donald Trump gave a green light in a time where he could have condemned or stopped, he could have stopped the attack. So Donald Trump preferred to give the green light to the Israelis to carry on this attack, an attack that has targeted Khalil al-Hayya, deputy chairman of the political bureau of Hamas, and Zaher Jabarin. These are, after Khalid Meshal, the two main leaders, remaining leaders or still alive leaders of Hamas. Considering the magnitude of the attack, more likely they have been killed, as many observers think they have been killed, and Khalil al-Hayya is almost confirmed that he has died. And now all eyes on Donald Trump, because Donald Trump said a few days ago, this was the last warning for Hamas, but it was prior to the negotiations. No one could have imagined this. The negotiators would be wiped out. That what happened, and now we are looking forward to see what could be the reaction, the explanation of Donald Trump to this considerable escalation in the Middle East.
Mr. Boutaleb, very quickly, do you actually foresee any repercussions against Israel following this attack? Very quickly.
Well, I think the next step is an escalation of the demonstrators. The family of the hostages are now in terrible fear. They were hoping for this last chance to see their children coming back home. But now, after this attack, we can say that Israel chose to dispense any ambiguity regarding the hostages. They're focusing only on Hamas. The last diplomatic track has been blown up, and it is a very bad news for the families of the hostages in Israel, of course.
All right, Mr. Hafid Boutaleb, thank you very much for your time, and it's good to see you.
Pleasure.